Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today, me and my friend EnigMarc, his channel link is in the description, go subscribe to him, are going to talk about some obscure cartoons with a little series, maybe longer, that was his idea, not mine, his idea, called Animated Obscurities.
What's up? Thanks for the introduction, Emerald. Anyways, like he said, we're going to be reviewing some less popular cartoons today. We've both watched over each of these shows and we're going to give you guys a fair take on them to determine whether they're hidden gems or just didn't have the qualities to make a cut as a mainstream cartoon.
For our first episode, we're going to be talking about Mission Hill and Time Squad.
Speaking of that, which one do you suppose we do first anyway?
Let's start with Mission Hill since it was mostly forgotten by a lot of people. Mission Hill was a show created by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein and was aired on the WB and Adult Swim from 1999 to 2002. The show was all about a guy named Andy French, who is a cartoonist and lives in Mission Hill with his roommates Jim and Posey. His little brother Kevin decides to move in with Andy and his roommates to Mission Hill, and hijinks ensue. Yeah, Mission Hill is one of those shows that we see a lot on other channels, but it mainly deals with life instead of just the usual stuff you would see in any other adult show. But it's no surprise that it was forgotten because it only lasted 4 years on different channels. My opinion on the show, it's actually not bad. They handle the plot when it comes to life and being yourself really well. The jokes are fine and can be funny at times. Mission Hill is a show I say is passable. What do you think, Mark?
Man, I think this is an underrated show that began its run at a poor time to get the deserved push it needed. When going into Mission Hill, you already see its uniqueness in its art style and social commentary. To speak on the art, it utilizes strong and neon colors pertaining to the themes of the settings and characters respectively, and the art style itself is quite noticeably unorthodox for the time. With the designs being done by Lauren McMullen, they take some influences from classic cartoons from the 50s and 60s like Hanna-Barbera and Warner Brothers. One more attribute about the show's aesthetic, of course, is the awesome theme song, which is actually the Cake song Italian Leather Sofa. It encaptures the nature of the show excellently, and is a bit of an earworm thanks to that opening guitar riff. And with a slice of life show like Mission Hill, dialogue and chemistry between the characters is pretty important, and it's handled quite well. This is demonstrated best between Andy and Kevin, seeing as one is a somewhat nihilistic existentialist hoping for a big break and the other being a spoon-fed overachiever and social outcast. The dynamic between these two is generally fun to watch as each episode dissects the flaws of both of their characters as it pertains to living in life in this urban and often cruel environment Mission Hill presents.
You should be down on your knees kissing my ass! Oops, I'm sorry. I said ass. Please tattle on me. Please, give me a preachy speech.
Good. Now let's get home so I can start masturbating.
To sum it up, Mission Hill is a black sheep among adult shows that showcases reality, millennial culture, and a lot of laughs in between. I definitely recommend it.
Time Squad was a show created by Dave Wasson and premiered during Cartoon Network's marathon block, Cartoon Summer, in 2001 to 2003. Time Squad was the last Cartoon Network show to be premiered under then-President Betty Cohen, before she stepped down and was replaced by Jim Samples. It was also one of the first ever shows to be produced by Cartoon Network Studios and not Hanna-Barbera. Time Squad has also appeared in a few Cartoon Network games, such as the short-lived game Fusion Fall, RIP, where Larry 3000 appeared as a disembodied head, and the 2019 mobile game Kleptocats, where you can find Bug's yellow glasses.
As for the story, it stars the trio of Time Squad, Otto Osworth, voiced by Pamela Alden, Larry 3000, voiced by Mark Hamill, and Buck Tud Russell, voiced by Rob Paulson. Gee, they got some surprisingly well-known voice actors for a show so unnoticed. Anyways, the premise of the show is entirely based around time travel, setting our main trio in the year 10 million AD, on a satellite revolving around the Earth in the future. As for the characters themselves, in the most simplistic way, Otto is an 8-year-old orphan that so happened to be recruited for the team through a time-traveling incident. He exhibits the most enthusiasm and positive nature of the group, as well as explaining some pretty good historical knowledge for an 8-year-old when the plot needs context. There's also Buck Tud Russell, who serves as the self-proclaimed leader among the three despite his often loudmouth and immature demeanor. This trope is often seen in quite a few leader characters, but I digress. Our final member is Larry 3000, who serves as both a foil and polar opposite to Buck. The two have entirely contrasting personalities, 3000 being more of a diplomatic and sentient servant, and Buck being, well, himself. 90% of the time when watching the show, you'll see them bickering both before and after traveling back into time through dialogue. Is it humorous? Well, that depends on the situation. But alas, these are our protagonists. Each episode, we see our characters traveling back in time to intervene with an inconsistency in history and fix it for the thread of time to not be entirely distorted and destroyed. Honestly, the orphan kid, the time travel, wait a minute. This is kinda just like a modernized version of Peabody's Improbable History. Anyways, the show would eventually get cancelled on November 26, 2003, and could be for quite a few reasons, like low ratings or taking a jab at the then US President George W. Bush in one of its final episodes. However, it received 5 Annie Award nominations throughout its run, and is still revered as a great Cartoon Network show and the starter of an era that kinda got swept under the radar.
Time Squad is a show I can easily recommend. I watched the first episode and I really enjoyed it. It's honestly a lot of fun to watch. The characters are enjoyable and the adventures they go on are a lot of fun. It kinda sucks that this show was forgotten by a lot of people, along with other Cartoon Network shows in the early 2000s.
Conclusively, we believe both of these shows and many more we may review in the future are quite underrated. One of the main reasons for this series is to recommend you guys to check them out. Take our word for it that both of these shows are definitely worth your time. And if you've already known and watched these shows before watching this, let this encourage you to watch them again. This is the beginning of a series, and I will definitely be back to talk about some possibly even rarer shows that unfortunately haven't seen the light of day.
So which one of these shows did you remember is your favorite? Let us know. Why? Because these shows we will review in future videos were forgotten for so long, you would be surprised that they existed. So stay tuned in this new series as we dive into some forgotten and obscure cartoons.
Farewell, everyone.
See you guys in the next one.